everybody from Australia all the way to Cali. Neil, talk to us about your biggest project, your biggest baby at the moment.
Yes. So we have our biggest project, which would be the conference that is coming up in 2 days on Friday. So right now is Wednesday in California. And on October 5th, 6th, and 7th, we have our biggest event, which is the Portal to Ascension Conference. And it's really been, it's a milestone event because our organization is called Portal to Ascension. And we have been creating events for 10 years now on all types of topics. But really, our goal has always been to get into these huge conferences where we can have many people show up live, fly speakers in, and just create a whole entire experience for people. So this event is coming up this weekend. It's 3 days. We have over 20 speakers, around 7 sound healers, and another 3 musicians. So it's really going to be a full-on experience from the moment you walk in, really until the moment you leave.
Yeah. Cool. Just give me a second because I think we have a bit of a lag, and it might just be a small technical thing. Just trying to have a quick look.
Your page doesn't show live, even though Zoom does.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe you're on your own page, on your profile page.
No. Hang on a second. Nope. Let's do this again. Hang on a sec.
Oh yeah, wait, are we allowed? No, okay.
No.
As soon as I see you go live, I'll share it.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know why it says we're live on Facebook. We got to be live somewhere. Maybe
live somewhere in cyberspace.
Yeah. Well, here's something that says view stream on Facebook, so let's see where it takes me.
Yeah, it hasn't showed up on the page. No. Oh, you're muted too.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's definitely not happening. Why is this? Yeah, why is this? Oh.
What's going on?
Oh, hang on. I think. Hey, we're live. Neil.
Nice.
From Australia.
Hello. Okay, yeah, see that we're live. I'm going to share it as well. Hey, everyone.
Hey. I'll just share this to Healing Networks group as well.
If you're joining us, stay tuned. We're just going to share this around.
Awesome.
We got 3 people on.
Woo!
And well, I'm ready when you are.
Awesome. Cool. Neil, talk to us about your project at the moment, your event, Portal to Ascension. For those that maybe are not aware of this amazing event that you're pulling together that's being held over the next few days, share some love on what that means and the mission, vision behind, you know, Portal to Ascension event and the objectives of what it is and the consciousness that you want to raise there. I think that that's really valuable and really important for people as to know what value, one, can they get out of it, and two, who are the what type of people are you speaking to in terms of your audience and wanting to reach out. So, yeah, share the love on that, because I know the awesome stuff that you're doing there, but for those that are not aware, it'd be really cool for you to, you know,
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, hello everyone out there. My name's Neil with Portal to Ascension, and I just shared this on a bunch of my groups, so some people probably have not heard of us before. And basically, we've been around. Portal to Ascension was actually created around 10 years ago. It didn't become the name Portal to Ascension until around 7 or 8 years ago, but the whole intention was just to have fun doing meditative, holistic healing kind of events. I was having so much fun with that I started figuring like, oh, maybe I'll make something a little more exciting, more dynamic. So I started creating little small psychic fairs with like a speaker area, vendors. And over the years, it kept growing and growing. I wanted to create all types of gatherings, every type of event production for conscious events, whether it was a workshop, a tour, taking an author to different cities, sound healing tours on going from all the way to the south of California, all the way to Vancouver and the Victoria Island in Canada, on extraterrestrial channeling tours. We took one of our friends who channeled a being from Sirius. And the goal really has been, for the last 3 years, we've been online for the most part, but we wanted to get back into live conferences because the energy at the live conferences is super amazing. And just the dynamic of what it takes to put this on, and how all these people come to one area because they're committed to the same awareness and the same mission. Right, so I'm excited because this event tomorrow in Irvine, we're about to have 15 to 20 people fly in from all over the world, and these are the biggest revolutionaries on the planet doing. We're all a big revolutionary, but doing the most practical on the ground work, dedicating their lives, not working any other thing except for this, in order to empower us and increase awareness on the planet. So this event is called the Portal to Ascension Conference because it's also a branding one. We've been doing things on the back burner for a long time. Many people have been to our events, but they have no idea who we are because we're not on the forefront. It's not a Portal to Ascension event always. A lot of times we're producing events for other people, and their name is the title of the event. So this is us coming to the forefront as a an organization that is really creating these events rather than helping people produce their own events. They're actually coming on, we're co-creating these experiences together. So it's called the Portal to Ascension Conference, not only because of our name, but also because our name represents what we represent, which is a portal to ascension. It's not a UFO disclosure conference. It's not an ancient history conference. It's Portal to Ascension, which is much broader than the concept, because that is just one component of all the different aspects of awareness. Ascension, the Portal to Ascension represents the fact that there are many different ways and different avenues to achieve an evolution of consciousness or become an ascended being or empower yourself and become your authentic self, whatever labels you want to put on it. But there are many different ways to do that. Some of us need just information. We need to know, some people need to know that they've been lied to and everything they thought they knew is not real. That is what actually gives them the spark of awareness to start figuring out and looking into what really is the truth of who we are and where we came from. Other people, they just want to go and attend a sound healing, and they get into it through sound frequency. So what we're attempting to cultivate over those 3 days, starting in 2 days from now, is 20 speakers, 10 sound healers, 3 musicians, all on different aspects of consciousness, so that we can create a full circle picture of what it represents to be in the ascended world or to even ascend. Many different individuals, they concentrate on one aspect. Many organizations and movements concentrate on one aspect. Let's talk about UFO disclosure. There's a whole movement, people just dedicated to that full time. Let's talk about rewriting the history books, our ancient history. Our history has been written and rewritten and written again by the victors. So much so that we're so disconnected from the truth of our ancient history that if you were to even start telling someone 1 ounce, a percentage of what the truth is, it would seem like something so out there and mind-boggling that it's really difficult for the normal people, if you want to call them that, the people that aren't in this awareness, to even accept it. Yeah. However, the fact is that our ancient history, what we've been taught, is really far from the truth. So we're also going to have around 5 or 6 of the presenters specifically that are going to be there to show us a true trajectory of human history, of where we came from and how we got to where we are today. And the reason why that's important is because the truth of our ancient history, firstly, is far more cosmic, meaning universe, multiverse, interdimensional than most may realize. We are connected to other planets, other civilizations, and there's evidence and there's scriptures that talk about this. Plus, there have been advanced civilizations that have existed on our planet, even more advanced than us. However, we have the human arrogance of evolution. Since we have been evolving like this, not only has our consciousness and our bodies evolved, but also so has our technology. Everything must be evolving the same level, right? Well, the fact is that's not the case. There's been great civilizations that existed even more advanced than us. Some of them space traveling civilizations that have been completely wiped off the planet. It seems that this has been going on for millions of years, and every 26,000 years seems to be a cycle of the evolution of consciousness, whether we go through a golden age, a dark age, a bronze age. We keep going through this cycle. That this time is the end of these cycles, and we're going into a new kind of galactic cycle rather than a solar systematic cycle that we've been in. So this is very esoteric spiritual information, but it completely ties into mainstream archaeology and science, because we have the question of the fact that the ancient civilizations knew about this, and also that they were really advanced with scientific knowledge. We call it quantum physics now. Quantum physics is just another label, but really it is the science of vibration and frequency, which Nikola Tesla spoke about frequently. So we're creating a full circle awareness picture that if you want to know any of these components and how they connect together, this conference is really for you. Or if you're just into one kind of topic, there's going to be a lot of information and individuals that you can talk to. We're going to have a panel discussion there. It's going to be like an experience. Like I was telling you before, I want to have it when people come in, and then for 3 days they're in this energetic. It's not like break up and choppy. We have sound healing, we have musicians, we have art, we have vendors, and then we have great conversations and panel discussions where the speakers are going to be interacting with all of the people there as well. So it's more of a celebration rather than a need for information, right? because I don't like to do things from a need, because a lot of people are like, oh, we need to do this stuff on conspiracies because you need to know. It's more about the fact that this is the knowing of it is only the first step. Once we know about it, having the bigger picture of the fact that the fear that comes along with it isn't really warranted, because a lot of people go into fear. We're not talking about the spiritual new age love stuff, because that's part of it too, but when it comes to uncovering conspiracies and ancient history and what's been happening to us and who's been in control, there's a lot of fear that comes with that. So Portal to Ascension, even though that we do that, we always have the bigger picture of this all happened for a reason. We're meant to be here. And then we also discuss that. So that's kind of a nutshell of the energy that we're trying to cultivate at this conference.
Yeah. And it's interesting that I love the fact that you've, used the term fear, because fear really is something that either gets embedded into someone, or it's triggered in someone, or it's a tool to use to control information and control awareness as well. So anyone, I suppose out there that might hear some of these topics or hear about some of what has been going on behind the curtains for a long time, that fear is it's just lack of education and lack of knowledge, and the only way to really really kind of disintegrate that fear is to really open your mind and get amongst events like yours that you're creating and that you're developing, so people can eliminate some of that fear and educate themselves.
Exactly. And to add to that, like, I don't know if you've been I don't want to be an arrogant person from the U.S. where I'm like, I don't know if you've been following the U.S. politics at all, but but I don't know if you've been following what's been happening in the U.S. regardless of the politics. But what's been happening is a polarity shift. People that used to be neutral are now being polarized. People that used to love are now hating. There's this whole, the people that used to think that we're ascending are now in fear that we're not. So it's like, and it's hardcore. Like, the division within the community is insane. So it's, for me, I have my own perspectives, but to keep neutral at the same time and not like let politics get in the way and all that stuff is really difficult when everybody else is polarized, right? So it's like the bigger picture component has been lost for a lot of people. A lot of these individuals that are the speakers going out there talking about this stuff, they know about the fact that, hey, we signed up for this. We literally came down here and chose to come experience darkness. We literally knew that we were coming into the duality era, and we were going to be in the dark ages, and we were going to forget our connection to source, and we're going to feel the most separate that we've ever felt. They know this. But a lot of the masses, the people that are out there really pissed about what's happening on one side or the other, they don't have that awareness. They're like, they feel that it's all doom and gloom and we're screwed. You know what I mean? Like, but ultimately, the one thing that we know, and you can prove it scientifically, you can prove it through ancient scriptures, is it's inevitable the world is ascending. It's inevitable that we're in a certain place in our solar system, in our galaxy, that is a high concentration of ether that has been prophesied to be the gateway to a higher octave of existence, a higher dimension. How we get there is really up to us. Do you want to go out kicking and screaming? Or do you want to have perspective and be like, hey, let me take a step back, let the drama unfold the way it's supposed to be unfold, because I can really affect it. I can like, you can be an activist and all that stuff, but a lot of these big things that are happening on a grand scale, just say like the president becoming the president, for example, a lot of those things you really can't change. So we really need to take a step back from it all and just let things manifest the way they're supposed to, so that we can not be in fear and ruin our own lives, because it really causes a lot of sickness, a lot of hatred in us. And after a certain amount of time, we condition ourselves to feeling that way, and it's really difficult to bounce back to where we were, So that's what we're representing, and that's what we're trying to have at the conference, to show that bigger picture. Hey, this is happening to you, but don't worry. It's all a part of the game. If anything, be grateful to the ones that have done it, because not being grateful to those ones that have done it only creates more of the same. It's the law of attraction. So, like, the only way to diffuse energy is to send it something that it doesn't expect, which is like pure unconditional love. But that doesn't mean here's another new age kind of trap. Saying pure unconditional love doesn't mean you're no longer an activist for the truth and for helping people. Just like when you say, everything is love and light, we all came here for a reason. And then someone goes, what about the starving kids in Africa? You must hate the starving kids in Africa, right? It's like, for example, me, I know I'm here for a reason. I know that I'm here to experience darkness. I don't hate the government. I don't hate the elite. I don't hate the cabal. But at the same time, I'm probably one of the people on the planet that are doing a lot of work to kind of counteract all of the stuff that they've done. So you really can have a bigger picture perspective and still do positive work in the world.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a cool thing that you said there too, because there are a lot of people that get trapped in the New Age, you know, system, which there's nothing wrong with it, of course, because we're all a part of it collectively as well. But that go, oh yes, and, you know, and start behaving or acting counterintuitive to the mission, you know. So if the mission is to raise vibration and raise light, then do so in a way that's going to actually be positive and educate people in a way that's also creating harmony. But it's not also, it comes back down to, you know, like not everything is love and light, you know. We are in a multi-dimensional, multifaceted with many layered universe, as you know. So everything's relative, but I think it's super, super cool what you're doing. For those that are able to be geographically close to the event, perfect. What about for those that are international or interstate or can't get there physically?
So I'll talk about that in a second. I just want to touch on what you said about not everything's love and light, which is true within this reality, this duality. We have this separation. But a quote that I really like is the light is so unconditional that it even allows the darkness to exist within it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because what if you were the most unconditional thing ever? Would you be only around people that love you? No, that actually, if you were around people that only love you, you're pretty conditional, because that's what you want to have in your life. The most unconditional you can be is to accept everything and accept the darkness too, right? So it's interesting because it's a paradox. It's two separate things, but they also exist within each other, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you can't attend live, firstly, if you do attend live, it's $222 for all 3 days, and it's $99 for just one day, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. At ascensionconference.com, you can register, but also you get unlimited replay access to the footage. So if you came for one day, you get to watch all of that day forever, as much as you want, in your archives on our website. So really clean looking site where you can go and access this. Or if you attend all 3 days, you get, I don't even know how many hours. So it's going to be like 45 hours of presentations included in your ticket price. But if you can't attend live, you can attend by live stream. At the live stream for all 3 days is $111, and again, you get unlimited replay access for that too. We're going to be having on Saturday night, we have a 333 Tibetan bowl. So 333 singing bowls, Tibetan singing bowls, activation with over 25 people playing the bowls at one time. So there's going to be 600 bowls in the room, but at one time there'll be 333 bowls playing at the same exact moment. We have around 100 people in attendance right now. So when it gets to like 200-300, then you know there's a lot of people for it. But with the amount that we have, 100 to 150, 333 bowls, one of the most epic experiences that you would ever have. We're going to be live streaming that as well, so people can check that out.
Yeah, cool. Neil, can you share with us some of your key speakers as well, so people might have a good awareness of who they can be going to get information from, or go to who to listen to, and for those that may not know who they are, maybe just share a little bit of what their love and passion is.
May I share my screen so I can share the picture?
Definitely.
Right, and then we can go over here. Desktop. Where you at? Photos. So just give me a second, everyone. I'm pulling up the image here. So as I was saying earlier, it's basically a threefold topics, and it's more than threefold, of course, but the reason why I put those three topics is because a lot of things can funnel into these subjects. Extraterrestrials and UFO disclosure, which represent, to some people, extraterrestrial awareness and UFO disclosure are the exact same thing. The difference is extraterrestrial awareness really deals with the spirituality. It's about the fact that these beings exist, and why do they exist, where did they come from, how did they live, and how they connected to us, extraterrestrial awareness. Also interdimensional beings, because it's not all about just extraterrestrials. Ultra-terrestrials, interdimensionals, there's other types of beings. So we'll be discussing that, and then UFO disclosure really deals with like the nuts and bolts, but also the conspiracy component of it all, what's been happening, especially in the US, the cover-up for the last 70 to 80 years. Ancient history, self-explanatory, and then the evolution of consciousness. So some of the speakers here, do you see this?
Yeah, it's live.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna, I'll just go through them from top to bottom quickly. So first speaker there is Grant Cameron. He is the foremost researcher, or maybe the only researcher that's an extensive researcher of the presidents, the U.S. presidents, and their connections to the UFO documents and files. He is going to be doing an update on what's happening with disclosure, and there's a lot of things that happened in the last year, so he's going to be giving us the lowdown on that. Jason Quitt, Forbidden Knowledge and Ascension. He has astral traveled for most of his life to different planets and had interaction with many different beings, and he's going to be speaking about the teachings that he's learned from different planets and how that connects to the disclosure in our future. Robert Schoch is one of our headliners. Jason Quitt's a headliner too. Robert Schoch is a geologist, an Egyptian geologist. He is actually the one that has redated the Sphinx in ancient Egypt, and his information has crossed over to the mainstream. A lot of alternative researchers don't want to hear from him, but there's been this whole movement in the last year of alternative archaeology really taking precedence in the world. He's going to be showcasing his information to prove that there was a fall of a great civilization around 12,000 years ago, and that Egypt was the descendants of that great civilization went to Egypt and created Egypt. And around 9,600 BC, we know that the Sphinx was in existence. So he's going to go into 1.5 hours to 2 hour in-depth information on ancient Egypt and his research there. Billy Carson is he's really big on social media. He also has a channel on Gaia TV. He's also on Ancient Aliens, and he has a channel called Forbidden Knowledge where he goes into many different ancient civilizations. But his talk is going to be on fractal holographic universe. Where he is going to... Oh, I'm hearing myself twice.
Oh, you all good?
Maybe did I come through on your end?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Check. Okay, yeah, I'm good now.
Yeah.
Okay, so fractal holographic universe, and basically, the fact is that our universe is holographic in nature. I'm just going to go ahead and make that statement, even though, like normally I would say maybe it is, and we should check it out. But from what we have discovered, and through quantum physics, and through the fact that everything is a paradox, and the universe seems like it shouldn't even exist, but it does. We're now discovering that maybe, just maybe, that this universe is holographic in nature and also based off fractal sacred geometry. And he is going to showcase a lot of evidence to prove that. Alan Steinfeld is one of our MCs. He has New Realities TV out of New York. He's interviewed many people before they even became big, like Bruce Lipton, Nassim Haramein. He's extremely well connected. Even Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, he was there in the beginning for many movements. Tricia McCannon speaks on everything. Every topic that we have in Portal to Ascension, she can talk on. We do many online events with, but she's going to be doing a worldwide pyramid culture. We're going to go into Antarctica and show the melting ice caps and show some aerial photos of UFOs that are coming up in Antarctica and pyramids that are being uncovered in Antarctica. And then she's going to connect that to the fact that there was a worldwide pyramid culture also around 12,000 years ago, but definitely longer than that as well, that it seems like all of the world was like one big city in communication with each other, knowing what was happening with these pyramids situated in certain places for specific reasons. So her presentation is going to be going into details on that. Now, Paola Harris, and if you want at any moment, you want to cut me off and speak about anyone, please do. But otherwise, I'll just continue, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So Paola Harris is one of the lead UFO researchers and journalists in the world. Been doing this for like 40 years. She has done a lot in the US. She's gone into the consciousness field now, where she is now over the nuts and bolts UFO research and really into who these beings are and why they're communicating with us. She's going to be talking about extraterrestrials in Europe. Basically, her topic is space beings visiting us in South America and in Europe, because she wants to take it out of the U.S. because there's this whole thing about everything in the U.S. is the only thing that matters. And that's not the case. There's a lot happening elsewhere. And in the U.S., we've kind of fallen into this circuit of UFO disclosure, these conferences, where the actual contact is happening elsewhere, like in other countries, especially in South America, where they're talking to people just like you and me, and it's got nothing to do with the government. The government is too busy being Catholic and doing their own thing, you know? They don't want to even hear about it. Where in the U.S., they're trying to cover it up. Yeah. John DeSouza, he is ex-FBI agent. He was in charge of the paranormal files for the FBI, and he was basically what X-Files was made of. Mulder was mimicked after him. He was the one that was the Mulder, but the way it started is very interesting because he was punished. He didn't do anything really terrible, but in the FBI, if they don't like what you're doing, they'll give you a desk job, right? Like, so somebody in the uppers didn't really like the way he did something, so they gave him the paranormal files as a joke. They're like, oh yeah, just sit here, this is your full-time gig. And how crazy is that? He had a full-time job, and they gave him a task to do as a joke. So he was getting paid, going through paranormal files, and they weren't even interested in it. They were just giving our taxpayer money to him, right? So he started going into details on these paranormal files and started realizing this stuff is real. And through that, he became who he is now, and is now ex-FBI agent going around the world telling us the exact stuff that is happening and what the government really knows.
Do you know what, Neil? That is a really cool story.
Yeah, right? I know. I was tripped out too.
Yeah, to be lumped with something that is perceived externally as something heavily insignificant ended up being remarkably significant, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I love that he's there, because like having the government people there too, just at a consciousness event, makes you wonder, what does the government know? And that's just the beginning, because we work with many people that aren't here, because this event is more spiritually oriented. We work with people that are specifically non-spiritual, conspiracies only, because we work with everyone, right? So it's like, just having that component really gives me the full circle awareness. And the fact that they find spirituality through this information, right? It just gives more credibility to everything that we believe for so long. Okay, so then the next guy, he's Jordan Sather, and he's a really awesome guy, becoming one of our really good friends for my wife and myself. He has a channel called Destroying the Illusion. He's gone in a year and a half. He went from one blog being under the not really being at the forefront to being like 150,000 people on YouTube. He was just on Comedy Central last week. They just had him on Comedy Central to ridicule the stuff that he's saying about the government, because they did this whole hit campaign on it, and he was on one of the shows there. So now he is on the forefront of disclosure, and really is the new generation of disclosure. Does a lot in the secret space program, works with Corey Goode and David Wilcock extremely closely. Just came out with a documentary that's being released October 31st called Above Majestic. You guys have to watch it. If you want to see a next level documentary that won't bore you and keep you on the edge of your seat, and have extremely good CGI graphics where they're showing you what the Nazis did and how they went to Jupiter, and showing you how the Nazis traveled in the submarine and all this stuff, like, you got to watch this documentary. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So he's going to be there.
When's that going to be released, Neil?
October 31st.
October 31st. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And for those of us Aussies, where could we find it? How could we find it, do you think?
So I'll tell you the name. It's Above Majestic. Just Google it, and it'll probably be a release date and tell you where to get it. But I'm not sure what he's doing with distribution. He might even have it on YouTube, you know? So just really stay tuned for that. And my wife and I watch a lot of documentaries, and we're one of the people that like will flick through Netflix for 5 hours, driving ourselves insane because we can't find anything because nothing's good, right? But I'm telling you, like, we were like on the edge of our seats. It was like 35-degree Fahrenheit weather outside, freezing, and we literally stuck it through, even though my body was shutting down because we were watching outdoors. So that was great. So I think that's the best testimonial he could ever get. And then the next guy, Douglas Taylor, he goes to a lot of conferences too, and he was actually taken aboard spacecraft probably a few decades ago now, and he was not an artist. He was just a regular dude. He was a surfer in Huntington Beach, and then he came back down, and all of a sudden he could paint. But he couldn't just paint. He could paint the most beautiful, epic art pieces. And ever since then, he's been painting art pieces of different solar systems with spacecraft coming through it, different types of utopian planets that extraterrestrials exist on, different races that have communicated with him up there. So now he's like become an extremely great artist. And his story is that, you know, he was taking aboard these spacecraft. He came down with his gift unlocked, and now he's just doing it for everyone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. And then we got, go ahead.
Sorry, Neil, quickly, at the conference, will anyone get an opportunity to see his art?
Yes, he's going to have all of his art. He's going to have a lot of his art there. He has a whole entire area in the vendor room where he's going to have his art. So it's going to be part of the aesthetics.
Oh, beautiful. Awesome.
Yes. Okay, and then we go to Ray Hernandez, who is, he started an organization called FREE, that's the acronym, FREE, with Edgar Mitchell. Edgar Mitchell was the third person to walk on the moon. Edgar Mitchell founded the Center for Noetic Sciences. Edgar Mitchell had this huge spiritual experience while he was on the moon that he decided to delve into consciousness and also the extraterrestrial phenomena. When the WikiLeaks emails came out a year or two ago, Edgar Mitchell was all over it, talking to Obama, Podesta, Hillary Clinton, trying to get them to disclose extraterrestrials. Him and Ray created this organization where they started doing a survey all around the world to figure out the consensus of people's experiences with extraterrestrials. So they did surveys. Oh, one of the questions was, did you have a reptilian experience? Thousands of people have answered this, maybe even tens of thousands now. And people be like, yes. Was the experience negative or positive? People be like, negative or positive. So they have the numbers now with tens of thousands of people basically keep giving them the information on the consensus of the statistical analysis of people's experiences when they're getting abducted. He's going to be releasing his information at our event. And I'm telling you, like, it's definitely not what most people will expect. Like, for example, one thing I could tell you that he's been telling everyone is that the majority of reptilian experiences are positive.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that. I thought you were going to say that. Yeah. Yeah, cool. That'll be a really interesting talk. Awesome.
Yep. Yeah. And Tricia Llanaros, she is a journalist, much like Jordan Sather, has her own channel, and it's called Divine Frequency, but she talks on everything. From self-empowerment, actualization of the human consciousness, and at this event she's going to do extraterrestrials and the etheric battery, where she's going to be talking about their connection to us and what the etheric battery is. And I have my own speculation on what that would be, but I'm not going to say because it might be something different for her, you know, the etheric battery. And then we're going to move on to Erica Lukes, also a ufologist, and I'll go a little faster. Great ufologist, much like Paula Harris in her research, different topics, different kind of case studies. Justin DeChamps, Stillness in the Storm, really big blog for conscious awareness. And I don't remember his topic this time. Robert Paola is an MC. Meg Benedicti does Exiting the Matrix strategies. She's going to give us tools and techniques to exit the matrix. Peter Sterling, unfortunately, won't be able to make it. Dr. Dream is doing the 333 Tibetan Bowl activation Saturday night at 8:30. If you can't attend the conference, you can just purchase a ticket specifically for his workshop. And that's $35 if you just want to come to his experience. And then Shreya Fox, also self-empowerment. Joan of Angels, channels angels, and paints basically angel stations, angel galactic points, and interdimensional travel. She's an artist and an angel workshop healer. It's the best way to explain her. Serena Taylor will be helping out emceeing. Torquem G synthesizes 432 hertz sound frequencies. And then I'll be there, of course. Arjun Kaur is a gong master. So she's going to be doing, we're in the sound healers now. She's going to be doing this whole amazing gong experience. Evan Perman, a didgeridoo player, and then MC Kiyoshi is one of the best conscious rappers that I've ever come across. So he's going to be there as well. There's a few other people that aren't on this, but that's basically the majority of the speakers that are going to be there.
Yeah, wow. That's a really good, really good lineup and really good collective of people showcasing their diversity, you know, on their beliefs and passions and their finding research. So it's beautiful for everything from Tibetan sound bowls to MC,
everything.
you know, to consciousness.
Yeah. It's literally a manifestation of what's in my brain, you know, like everything I could ever think of, like it's there. It's pretty awesome. It's exciting to watch your inner thoughts become an external reality. You know, it's freaking crazy.
Yeah. Do you think, Neil, that we could see the Portal to Ascension conference every year potentially? Is that the dream? Is that the plan?
It is the plan. However, it all depends on how I do from this event, because it really needs to sustain itself, right? At this point, it's not doing as well as I would like it to do for sustainment. But I feel I'm going to make some tweaks and change it, because at the same time, I think it's needed. Like, this event needs to be done. And if you look at the conference circuit, especially in the US, there are mostly events on like UFO this, UFO Congress, International UFO whatever. But it's all about these topics. It's about everything. But it's really specifically called that. There's not too many full unconsciousness events that have everything else. So I want to keep this event going on, because even though it's more difficult to market consciousness to people, right? It's really, really needed. And I just got to believe that I have the support of something up there, right? To just keep it going. So we're going to see what happens. Right now, I don't know at all what's going to happen, but my intention is to keep it going. And I would love to, like, because we do all these other events, my goal has always been to generate enough income for Portal to Ascension to keep going, so we can do a free live conference every year. You know, because how cool would it be? Like 1,000 people can show up, no problem, right? If it's free. So it's like, we're growing, and I'm putting my feelers out there for some investors, people to sponsor and help us out. And I know that it's going to happen. It is happening.
It is happening. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really cool. And just like you said too, you know, what I really love about this is that it's broad. It's not just completely like, all this is a UFO disclosure conference. It's there for everyone. And obviously the ultimate mission or objective is to raise consciousness, whether it be whatever shape or form. And you've got such a wonderful lineup of people that are heavily passionate, heavily self-educated, that really, really not just, I suppose, speak from a passion perspective, but from potentially, you know, for some of your speakers, from an evidential perspective as well. So it's really good to see that combination of spirituality and science there too.
Exactly, yes. And it's like, I would say that this kind of event is needed more now than ever. In this world of division, there's got to be a place where we can unify.
Yeah, I love that. Definitely. Neil, do you think that when you can, maybe share the link, or unless if someone wanted to register, obviously buy a ticket, so do they just go to the website online? Yeah, so
exactly. And I'll post this in the comment section on your page. But yes, if you want to purchase a ticket, ascensionconference.com, ascensionconference.com. If you want to take a look at any of our other productions and what we do, our mission, all of our other events, portaltoascension.org, that's our main website.
Yeah, cool. And is that the same place where you can purchase tickets for the live stream as well?
Yeah, you can. We have it on Portal to Ascension and Ascension Conference. So either website, on the event page, you can purchase the live stream. But I would say go to ascensionconference.com, check it all out. And just to also let people know that we have different pricing options, because there's something for everyone, and we want everybody to be able to come in. So $99 for just one day, $222 for all 3 days, $111 for the live stream. Or if you want to attend like just a virtual reality workshop on Friday night, which we didn't speak about, and or the Tibetan Bowl one on Saturday night, you can do that for $35 each. Or even if you want to just check out Billy Carson's live stream or just Robert Schoch's live stream, it's only $33. So I don't want to throw a bunch of numbers out there and confuse you guys. Just go to ascensionconference.com and you can take a look at the different options. And about the virtual reality experience, so my friend Torquem G and Michael Strauss, they have Torquem G, he synthesizes 432 hertz frequencies in this amazing ensemble of music and vibration. And he and Michael Strauss got together because Michael does conscious virtual reality simulation. So you put virtual reality goggles on and you see all types of crazy sacred geometry. You're in this world of geometry. You're in a different universe. You are, because if this is a holographic universe, this is virtual reality. You're just virtual reality within virtual reality at this point, you know? So it's like, so what we're going to do is we're converting from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight, also open to the outside public. We're converting the main room to a virtual reality tribal dance sound frequency experience where we're going to have stations where you can put goggles on and you can experience a virtual reality simulation of sacred geometry while you're wearing a 432 hertz sound pack on your body that's vibrating your body with this frequency. Yeah. While people are doing tribal dancing, all this stuff's going on around you. So it's going to be awesome. Yeah, we're doing everything we can.
Awesome, Neil. Thank you so much for sharing the love on your event, and I'm definitely obviously sharing and supporting you and your work as well.
Yes.
I think what you're doing is fundamentally amazing. We need more of that in the world, of course, and to raise, raise the vibe and raise the consciousness and make, in what we feel is in a world of division, make things a lot more inclusive. So I love exactly what you're doing.
Right. Thank you. And thank you so much for sponsoring us and being the first person really sponsoring us and helping us out, taking those videos, uploading them. You've really, really helped out. So I'm excited to be connected with you. And we're just going to keep working together forever, I would think, right?
Forever in this digital reality, this holographic reality.
Exactly.
Well, any last words of wisdom maybe that you want to share with anyone? Just maybe a thought, quote, passion to maybe bring a little bit of consciousness.
I'm just going to go back to the same point that I was saying before, because it's extremely important that we have more in common than we don't. But those in power want us to think that we have less in common, whether it's our race. I do. That's the only way to control the masses, is to make them feel. The only way to control the masses is to make them war against each other, not with you. So what do? You create all these different things and mechanisms, whether it's the California drought where the corporations take up all the water, but they make the people fight against each other for wasting water, or something like that. All these things are done deliberately just to make us bicker with each other so that we don't really question what's going on top. The time now is really to take this power back and stop it. And I know that just this statement here is almost like heavy for me saying it, because I know that people are so caught up in this illusion of separation that even me saying this won't even change. Because if you feel that somebody has your belief systems in mind, you will go with what they say because you feel that they understand you. But a lot of these people that say that they understand us don't understand us at all. And all of this stuff is lies. We've been lied to so much. Then the way they do it is they put a little bit of great information, valid information, mixed with all this disinformation. So you see a few things that you resonate with, and you start making excuses for the things you don't resonate with. But we don't need to make excuses anymore. Like, we don't need to make excuses. The world that we can have, the beautiful world with complete transparency, integrity, abundance for all, the technology and the awareness is here for that already. So why hasn't it happened yet? It should piss you off just a little bit, the fact that we could all be in peace and all not be starving and all be happy. But it's not, because a lot of us are docile, because that's also part of what's being created for us. So right now, if I can leave you with anything, I would just say, every single day, think about what unites you to your fellow brothers and sisters rather than what separates you.
Yeah, that was amazing. And you know what? Yeah, totally on point. If every massive, I call them distractions. For any massive distraction that's happening in the world, we have to stop, revive, survive, I call it, and know that there's always stuff happening in the background. It's just about being aware and being aware of that system, that invisible system, that's really not invisible. It's really there, but it's it is an illusion, and to be mindful of that. And yes, thank you for saying that. Be mindful of what unites us rather than divides us, which is a great saying. Thank you so much, Neil.
Thank you.
Sharing, and you know, hopefully we can get some more people on board, raising their consciousness to attend the Portal of Ascension, and, you know, and get amongst it, because, you know, it's highly educational and it's informative and
fun.
Yeah, and sounds like it's going to be a shitload of fun too. So, so go. Thank you so much, and we'll definitely chat to you soon. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Talk later. Bye.